Hey, good morning, everyone. We do have a tornado warning effect. Wanted to hop on here and get you the latest on this one. A little bit of a surprise here, but when we get these storms forming out ahead of that main line and they merge with it, sometimes this does happen, and we do have a tornado warning for Northern Rapides Parish. Hold on, I ran in here. Let me catch my breath. I think we're good. Okay. Let me pull up the warning, get you the data on that. We're going to take a look at this on radar. We're going to take a look at this every which way. You know how we roll here. But yeah, this one is going right across Northern Rapides Parish. It's really kind of getting bumpy here in town too. I'm hearing the wind blowing outside my door as this cell approaches from the southwest. We have a couple of strong storms moving in, and yeah, that severe thunderstorm warning for the northern part of Rapides Parish has that tornado warning contained in without it, or within it. There we go. All right, let me get you the details on the warning. I'm going to pull that up here, and I can read you this. But yes, tornado warning in effect. This is for Northern Rapides Parish. Let me pull this up. All right, so the tornado warning goes until 11:45 a.m. It's a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado over Tioga or near Pineville, moving northeast at 35. This is going to be near Pineville, Ball, Kingsville, Paradise, Tioga, and Esler around 11:15. Obviously, this is right in the midst of a bunch of population here, so let's go in and take you to the most dangerous part of this storm and kind of show you what's going on. But right up there, from around Bulow up through Paradise and Ball, Paradise Elementary, Ball Elementary, those areas, and then down toward Kingsville, toward Walmart, Procter & Gamble. That's where this tornado warning currently, that's where we're seeing this warning right now. Now, let me go back a few minutes and see what we had here, because, yeah, we had that's when it started to look a little interesting on radars right there, just north of the river, and it doesn't look like we have the strongest of signatures on this thing. I don't see... Let me see one thing here. I don't believe that's a debris signature or anything like that, but let me go into the National Weather Service chat here. I'm getting 1,000 messages, so every time I click on something, it goes to that. Okay, here we go. So the tornado warning is in effect until 11:45, and... see, it says the circulation is heading towards Tioga and Paradise. So that's what we're looking at here. We have a tornado warning on this part of the line right up here near Tioga and Paradise. Another interesting area down here, and they've just warned that as well. That is for this storm near Woodworth, Castor Plunge, that area. And let me check on the velocity on this one. Yeah, there's a little something there too, so probably going to have a tornado possible tag on that one if I'm guessing correctly. Let's see. Radar indicated they don't have that. Okay, so that's good. Severe thunderstorm warning. This is the southern warning here. Severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Rapides Parish and northwestern Avoyelles Parish. This is for the severe thunderstorm 7 miles northeast of Elmer or 9 miles south of Alexandria International Airport, moving northeast at 30. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail are possible. Locations impacted: Alexandria, Pineville, Effie, DeVille, Labousse, Colleen, Center Point, Holloway, and Woodworth. Let me jump over real quick here. Take a look at the camera. And no, I don't have them up yet, but... there we go. Storyboards. Okay. Skycams. Let's get you there. Okay, that's going to come up here. I have them up here on the back end, so I'm just taking a look out there and really just looking like a ton of crazy rain right now. And yes, the Rapides Hospital camera right now is down. So let's go over to the, I mean, that's what it looks like out in town right now. Not a good time to be traveling for sure. We have severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings in place across parts of the area. Might have just taken a little power flash here. A little power hit. Not a power flash, but just a power hit. Let me go over and I want to see Leesville camera real quick, just see if we see anything there. Nope, it looks like it's pretty calm out that way. So let's go back to radar, and if you are just joining us, we have a tornado warning in effect. Here is the polygon for you. That is for Northern Rapides Parish. So right now, I'm not seeing a ton that would show me an imminent tornado. And given the setup here with the weaker wind shear like this, weaker low-level wind shear, we're going to see these things possibly develop quickly along the line. I don't think it's going to be a widespread thing, but the possibility is there for these isolated spin-ups. If they happen, they're going to be brief, though. Another strong storm or another severe storm with possibly some hail in it just southwest of Alexandria, moving northeast at 35. There are your polygons right here. Those are updating now. Severe thunderstorm warning coming through central and eastern Rapides Parish, and that tornado warning up there into northern Rapides Parish, including Ball and Tioga. Now, this thing's moving pretty quickly, so I'm going to check the shear swath. Yeah, that's not jumping off at me as something crazy right there. Actually looking like a little more impressive shear on this one. That's going to be crossing 165 there, probably around Big Tex Trailers, just north on the north side of Woodworth, north of Caroline Dorman. That's where I'm thinking that one is right now. And then we have that tornado warning going on to the north. So watching that one carefully there to the south here. So bad rain just hit Ball, electricity blinked. All right, let me just take a look here at what I'm getting in messages. I don't want to miss, like, if there is a tornado on the ground and someone has it, because I can't see it through our camera right now because it's raining so hard. Ah, okay. That was an area of rotation. Someone sent me a video of that. Okay, but it did not look like that was actually a little bit earlier and further to the southwest. It is rocking and rolling here in town. We got the thunder blasting outside, and it's because we have thunderstorms rolling right on through that have tons of lightning. They also have that rotation here. This is the one that prompted the tornado warning. The worst of this storm is right along the 165 corridor right now. Now, the chance for any sort of tornadic development is going to be up here, more on like Essler Field Road, out toward Green Gables here. If you're in that area, that's where the rotation signature was. I can't really say there's not a ton there right now, but we are still seeing something. And then I'm watching this area down here near Woodworth as well, as these storms are kind of lined up along 165 right now, moving toward the east-northeast. And let's see, something just came through Colfax, limbs everywhere. Yeah, it looks like I did definitely see a wind surge with this thing. Let me go in. I don't think we're going to see anything too crazy on this, but 47, you know, and these are aloft, but 54, 58. So there are some gusty winds that are only a couple thousand feet up, and when that downdraft on the front side of this storm hits it, that can pull that down to the ground easily. So straight line winds are going to be your most widespread threat. We do still have that tornado warning. Actually, I think I have some good news about to pop here. Let me confirm before I say anything. I think they just canceled it. All right. Circulation is weakened. I will continue to watch, but may cancel. Tornado warning canceled. Severe thunderstorm warnings are still in place. There it goes. All right. So let me know if you got any. Oh, so you lost half your oak in Kingsville. That's what I'm looking for. If you have any reports of any damage up in these areas, let me know in the comments here. Right now, just severe thunderstorm warnings in place. We lost that tornadic signature on radar pretty quickly after that warning was issued. Lasted a couple of scans and moved on. And that's what we can expect out of these. In fact, sometimes it's like 2 to 4 minutes between a radar scan. You can totally miss a tornado spinning up. It might spin up for a minute or something like that. So if that happens, that's why we put tornado possible tags on these severe thunderstorm warnings, just to let you know that while a tornado is not the most imminent threat, it's possible that you get one to spin up on these on the front side of these lines as they're moving in from the west toward the east here. Right now, not seeing any big time rotation, but couple areas we're watching there near Woodworth, and then that's your former tornado warning up there crossing down Essler Field Road just southeast of Ball. A lot of rain going on in town. It's blinding rain out there. I'll show you the camera real quick. This is why you don't want to travel right now. If you can hold off like 15, 20, 30 minutes, it's going to be a lot better. Not a lot of people out there right now, but we've been talking about this for a while. There was a decent threat for some storms on Memorial Day, and here we go. We've definitely got that happening across the area. Let's go back to radar, put it in motion. Let me put it in reflectivity, zoom it out a bit, and you can see what we have been watching here. I'll take the warnings off just for a bit here. No severe thunderstorm or tornado watches, just a couple of warnings popping up here and there, and they don't issue watches for things unless they think it's a pretty widespread threat. And in this case, the threat has just kind of squared itself up right over Alexandria as this line continues to push quickly onto the east. Now, there goes my power. It just went out. Now, I have my Ward electric generator that's about to turn on. That's my battery backup. We're going to be good. There goes the generator. That's like the fourth time that's happened. Always so happy when that happens. Thank you, Ward Electric. If you want to have that happen when the power goes out at your house, give them a call. And they have financing options too, which was helpful for me. All right, so rain chances are high for today. I saw somebody the other day said the Weather Channel said 24% chance on Monday. I was like, no, we're not gonna go with that one. We're gonna stick with the 80 and actually up it to 90. We have severe thunderstorm warnings happening right now across the area and across northeastern Rapides, northwestern Avoyelles. That's where this is. But you saw that. Hold on. That's just stuff turning back on. I thought somebody was like Siri or one of the Alexas or whatever talking to me. Wind is crazy in Labousse. Power out on Highway 28 West. Yeah, I am not surprised. Power out on 107. Let me look at the... I doubt the power outage map, and I know mine are going to be a little bit delayed here. Wow, 9,500 without power in Vernon Parish. Let me go ahead and... Let me pull this up. Currents... Again, we'll have that up there while I'm pulling this up. Just takes a second to find things every once in a while. It's just how it rolls. Currents. Tornado warning is canceled if you're tuned in for that. Okay, here we go. Current power outage. Actually, I'm going to do this. Let's try this one. It's pretty impressive to see Vernon Parish with over 9,000 customers without power. And that's 9,400 out of 24,000. So like 35% of Vernon Parish is without power, 800 in Beauregard, 1,000 in Sabine. So out here where that line has crossed through, power outages increasing. And we're going to see that number come up here in Alexandria or here in Rapides Parish very quickly. Already seen a few hundred in Grant and Natchitoches as well. But you got to see the power go out here live and in person, and it kicked right back on. So yeah, wind. This one is packed with wind. And the way I'm seeing here, from what I'm seeing with 9,000 without power in Vernon Parish, if you're ahead of this line, that wind is going to be a major threat, and you're probably going to lose power. Not probably, but it's quite possible that you lose power with this one, as that wind has really increased as we got enough daytime heating in here. And what I saw, watch this. I'm going to show you what I saw and what kind of started to make me a little bit more concerned about things. So we had a line here, this is an hour ago, had that severe thunderstorm warning in northern Vernon Parish. But what you can see here, there is the outflow right there, right kind of on that leading edge of the storms. That's that gust of wind that's coming out. As we go through this, notice that ahead of that line, we started to get new storm development. And once I saw those storms starting to fire up, that shows me that instability is increasing out ahead of this line. And when those thunderstorms are merging in with the line, that's when we're seeing that severe threat come up a bit. And there you can see how that all kind of juiced up that line as it moved right across Rapides Parish. And now we have 3 different severe thunderstorm warnings, this one until 12:30 for parts of Rapides, Vernon, Allen, Beauregard, and no Evangeline. I think you're out of that one. Let me get you the text on that one, though, and I'll read that, and we can talk about what we have going on. Okay, severe thunderstorm warning, 11:24 a.m. Yeah, this is the right one. I listed the parishes. I'll do it again. Southwestern Rapides, northeastern Beauregard, southeastern Vernon, and northeastern Allen Parish until 12:30. At 11:24 a.m., a severe thunderstorm was located over Sugartown, moving northeast at 30, and 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail are possible with this one. This is going to be near Glenmora, Elizabeth, Pitkin, Sugartown, Grant, McNary, and Union Hill. So 3 warnings going on for different areas of strong wind potential here across Rapides Parish, and it looks like a lot of us are going to lose the lights. We have here, but again, the generator did kick on, and let's make sure. Yeah, I'm still alive, right? Yep, you're still seeing me. Okay, guys, let's see. Any sort of damage reports? I'm looking to see. It's so hard when we get tons of comments like this. Yeah, you're going to have to wait to travel from Alexandria to DeQuincy. Give it a little bit, because look behind this. I mean, this is just light rain back here. So this is the main issue, is this big line of storms here. I'll put it in motion for you. And you can see this part of the line is kind of surging through pretty quickly. Down to the south, it's a little bit weaker, but it's going to take a little more time to get through as that line's just kind of trailing down to the southwest. So possibly some heavy rainfall totals out of that. Here, up where it's just pushing through quickly, that's more of a solid wall of rain and wind that gets through quickly, and you get the intense wind, you lose power and all that stuff, but then things are going to improve fairly quickly. Something's flickering again. It's getting wild out there. Don't screw up my hard drive. That's all I'm asking. Huge tree limb fell in your yard by Vernon Lake. There, get there, Nick. Tornado or something just hit on 28 East by Today Dental. A few trees fell right by the highway. Ooh, yeah, there is a. I know there's a ton of straight line wind with this. I cannot tell you if we have actual confirmed tornadoes with this, but yeah, lightning took out a tree. I'm thinking power outages, and this one is really showing itself that the wind is going to be the main issue. Yes, the tornado warning is canceled for Essler. The severe thunderstorm warning is not. It's loud. I'm sure you heard that one. That one had to hit the microphone there. It tries to get rid of this outside noise, but in many cases it does not. In fact, let me actually do something here. Okay, we're good. All right, so severe thunderstorm warnings. To recap, we have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings across Rapides, parts of Avoyelles, northern Allen, southeastern Vernon, and extreme northeastern Beauregard Parish. And that's what we are looking at right now. I'm looking at cameras here on the backside just to see what we have going on. It's raining down there at the CalCam in near Sugartown, that area. And yeah, Leesville, it's all through. Natchitoches, we had a power hit, I think. And Alexandria, yes, as we know, it's raining very hard here, and we had that lightning hit just pretty darn close to us. So actually, where I'm at in Alexandria now, we have the thunder and the craziness going on there, but it looks like that backside of the line is going to be getting through here very quickly. Let me check one thing. Okay, good. Wanted to make sure we didn't take it, we weren't losing data, but that is the latest scan on radar that's showing this line of storms that continues to push onto the east. I think I just saw another flash out there. Here it goes. All right, so another close lightning hit here. Obviously, you know that if you're along this line, you don't want to be out on the water. But let's just say you're out here on the water in Catahoula Parish. You're on a little Mississippi River cruise near Natchez. You are anywhere on the water out here by Ushiko. Any of these places, you're going to want to get in now. You may have a little time the further east you go, but let's just be safe because not only do we have the lightning, we have crazy wind on the front side of this thing. I'm going to check the power outage map and see if we have registered an update there. And yeah. So let's go, let me pull us back over to that, show you the power outages real quick. But the lightning's really popping around here. We're up to 10,000 in Vernon Parish. So that's almost half the parish without power, half the customers without power. 1,000 in Grant, 1,000 in Rapides, Sabine, and Beauregard, and 200 in Natchitoches. So there was definitely some damage out in Vernon Parish if we're seeing almost half of the parish without power, because that means trees are falling and they're disrupting the lines and all that stuff. That 1,000 in Rapides is from 11:25, 6 minutes ago, which is around when I lost it. We're going to see that number come up as well. Let's go over to radar once again. I'll try to keep up with the comments here. Winds have settled down on Laboose. Good to hear it, Mark. I hope you got that roof done, by the way. I'm sure you guys did by now. But there it goes. That's the line right there that is pretty much increasing in intensity as these new storms form out ahead of it. When they merge in there, we're getting some really strong winds out of this. We've seen 10,000 power outages out in Vernon Parish, 10,000 customers without power. That's incredible. And then here across Rapides, we're at 1,000, but that number is going to come up here as this is now sweeping right on through the most populated part of the parish and all along 165 as well. Flying from Knoxville to Alexandria, should AEX be good at 9:30? You should be fine by then. I'm not sure about on base if they have power right now. LeCount is out at the feed mill. Yeah, that is not surprising. Limbs snapping close to LCU, power is out. Yeah, man, this one really kind of crept up on us here as that instability got just a little bit higher and we started to see those cell mergers in this line. And this thing is definitely misbehaving. And I'm trying to see if no, okay, that's the old warning. I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing a new warning. I'm actually looking. Sometimes I like to get on my radar scope here and really zoom down on things and just to see if I see any sort of rotation there. And right now I'm not seeing that. Seeing with the National Weather Service, they said the line of thunderstorms are moving into a good environment with severe thunderstorms with lots of CAPE, which is instability, convective available potential energy. We have it in spades today. The same tornado storm from before is trying to tighten back up, they're saying. So that possibly could require a new tornado warning out here toward Buckeye. So that's what they're watching. Let's watch that. There's the old tornado warning. That's the area they're watching out there. Barron, Buckeye, Big Island, Holloway. If you're out that way, at the very least, these severe thunderstorm warnings, these severe thunderstorms are producing very strong winds, and we have wind gusts over 60 miles per hour in some cases. And we're seeing power outages with this. Let me see what the highest gust we had at the airport was. 54. We had 52, and then we had 54 twice. So that's pushing right up against the severe threshold there. I'm going to check Essler as well. I do not see an update there. I do have one up to 1120, but it's only 5 miles per hour, so it hadn't gotten there just yet. But we'll be monitoring that one. Just checking around to see if I have any severe gusts reported. Looks like the closest so far is going to be that 54 out at the airport. Let's see. So as of now, we have 1, 2, 3 severe thunderstorm warnings along this line from basically around Ball down through Alexandria, Woodworth, and Glenmora. I want to look at the Gina camera. I'll bet that one's looking pretty rocking and rolling right now. That line of storms is pushing right up against it, and I am too late. The rain is there, big time rain right through Gina, and probably some gusty winds as well. Trying to see if the trees are moving. It's possible that one, it's possible we lost power there, or actually that's the Starlink site. So that's what happened. We got that rain fade once that came in. Let me go in there and just take a look at something real quick. Yeah, that's what we have going on there. All right, so the Gina camera is not going to be useful as the rain is pouring down. Let's go back to the radar, take a look at that, pull up the comments so I'm not missing anything. Oh, y'all are commenting like crazy. Lost electricity in LeCount. Yeah, I think a lot of us are going to lose power. I mean, trees down on power lines with a blown transformer on Kimberly. It's calmed down in Ala. Got to look for the good news, too. So this storm, if we're sampling, we had 3 gusts over 50 miles per hour at the airport. So if I'm seeing multiple gusts like that at one location, that shows me that there is a pretty long duration to these wind gusts over 50 miles per hour. And it also shows me that we're not seeing the strongest wind gusts out of this. So if we're seeing 54 at the airport, I'll bet somebody ended up with 70. No trees down in Colleen, no power in Pitkin. Let's see. Oh, Liz, you're out. And Heather had said, should we go swimming? No, you shouldn't, because now you're without power. Let's see. I'm looking to see. All right. Okay, so 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. The one up here in North Rapides Parish until 11:45. 12:15 on the one just south of that, and 12:30 on this one for southwestern Rapides, southeastern Vernon, and northeastern Beauregard, northern Allen Parish as well. Gina Cam is right in your backyard. I was about 10 minutes too late. Yeah, I'll have to go back. I can look at the recording of it all and everything. But yeah, those storms are sliding right on into Gina right now, and you guys don't have a warning. But I would say that given this setup and given what we're seeing from these storms down here, that looks pretty similar up there. I would think you could lose power out of this as well. All right. In Louisiana, we have 21,581 customers without power. That is as of 11:25, so a new update should be hitting, I would say, pretty soon. But if you're in Alexandria right now, things are going to be calming down from west to east fairly quickly. Behind this, we hardly have anything but a few sprinkles. That line right there, that solid line of storms from just west of Winsboro through Gina, through Pineville, and down toward Woodworth and Union Hill, Plainview, that area, and across central Beauregard Parish. That's where this big line of storms is. Let me take a look at that rotation down toward Glenmora. Okay, not seeing anything there, just had an interesting look on radar. And I'm really not seeing anything that I think is going to warrant a new tornado warning, but they did mention that in the chat, so we're certainly going to monitor that. Let's see what we have. Yeah, no updates there. Check one more thing. Okay. And they're talking about the possibility, and I'm not going to get into all the technicals of this, but of a wake low developing over northeast Texas. And that could mean that behind this behind these strong winds that we're seeing here, by a couple hours, we could see some strong winds developing. They're seeing gusts over 40 miles per hour around the Tyler and Longview area. So something to keep an eye on there. Let me look at the Shreveport radar for this and see if I see anything. I'll put it in motion. So Tyler, Longview. Yeah, just looking at that potential for some wind to kind of punch in on the backside if we get that wake low. We've seen that before. All the storms are cleared, and then a couple hours later, it's like, what's going on here? And you have the winds really pick up again. So it's possible we see some wind gusts later on today behind this system. Keep an eye on that. Back in this area, that would eventually come overhead. So this is the Shreveport radar. You can see here there is a new cell developing right on top of LeCount, and this is just to show you how different radar can look. Let's go see what we have from our other radar here. It looks, you know, this one's coming up fairly quickly here, but you can see there were more pinks as you went higher up. That means that updraft is going up, and that thing is probably producing some small hail and certainly some gusty winds. And I know some of you have lost power in that area as well. Crazy wind in Forest Hill, yeah. Yeah, steady rain in Kingsville. Yep, you're about to be out of it. I mean, behind this, it's just going to clear up. We could possibly see some strong winds with that wake low that I was talking about, but we'll just have to see if that ends up happening or not. Okay, checking. Might have a... Okay. Okay, they are... At least as of now, we don't have that tornado warning coming out. But we're going to be watching all this stuff. Severe thunderstorm warnings, disruptive severe thunderstorms that are actually knocking out a lot of power for folks. We've gone from, we're up to 21,581 without power. That's as of 14 minutes ago. So once that updates, I'll give you a new number. But severe thunderstorms are certainly knocking out power for more as this continues to charge from the west to the east. Yeah, I'm not in support of the wake low business either. I just saw it, and I was like, I wasn't even thinking of that. Ugh. All right, so hitting DeVille, lost internet, still have power. Keep your fingers crossed. You got to get through about 10, 15 minutes of this, and then you can stay safe. But right now, it is basically Rapides Parish, and then down into northern Allen, extreme southeastern Vernon, where the worst of this is. I do think that's pretty solid up there near Gina or over Gina right now. We have some, man, my power keeps flashing. This is what I do not like for that computer. Ugh, I hope it doesn't happen again. I spent 2 weeks getting this all fixed. So we all good right now in Ball? Yeah, it's nap time. Actually, that's the thing. When this clears out, I'm taking a nap. I was up with those storms last night. So, and you know what? Guess who's going to be up tonight at 3 in the morning? This guy, but I love it. That's what I do. No power for Chickamauga Road. All right. Yeah, Ball, you can nap. Elmer is calm. Yeah, I'm still getting the rumbles here, but it's calming down now. But if you are in Gina, if you're out there in DeVille, LeCount, Poland, you're about to get in on this. Cheneyville, you're getting close. Lloyd, Forest Hill, you are in it now. You might lose power. Let me check with some friends, see if they've lost power. Let's see. All right, let me see. I'm going to ask our friends down in Forest Hill if they have power. And then I'll check. I'm going to check it all. I'm just going to keep on going through and taking a look at stuff. Really interested to see when this map updates. I don't know if their power's out because it's been 15 minutes now. So this thunderstorm near LeCount, let's see if there's any sort of, when they form like that and then kind of merge in with that line, that's when I watch to see for some potential rotation. That's not what that is there, but something to keep an eye on is, that's just bad data. But this is just something to keep an eye on here with this storm developing and then that line kind of catching it, because the line's moving like this. The storms are moving to the northeast. So line's moving west to east. The storms are moving at a different angle. That means the line's going to catch them. And then when we see that happen, kind of boosts that updraft, makes it stronger. And that's when we get our most severe storms out of these scenarios. So it looks like Avoyelles Parish, you're about to get hit by this as this line is giving way to these new storms out ahead of it. And as that happens, I think we'll probably see new warnings, probably severe thunderstorm warning, but we will take a look. Okay, they're out of power. Yep, they said the rain just started, but they are without power, and they are down somewhere in this area. Somewhere between Forest Hill and Glenmore, maybe a little east of there, something like that. I should know better. It's like our best friends. All right, hail in LeCount. Okay, I'm sure it's pretty small, but let me know if you have any report on that. Power out 28 East area by Guillory Meats. That's right by Crest Industries. They have amazing beef jerky. Not at Crest. I don't think they do that there, but at Guillory's. Power out in Oakdale. Man, this is, I mean, there have been a ton of power outages out of this thing. Yeah, it's heading towards Center Point and Effie. Highway 71 South, LSUA College getting rain and strong winds. See, there you can see over the last, and let me check, I'm going to check Shreveport. Yeah, so that's why you can see the hail core right there, and that's going to be, I gotta check with my in-laws now. Did y'all get hail? See, they're up on Weingart. Okay, they're going to be just north of that. That's where they live. So if you're on Lamourie, maybe Shane, I'll have to check with him. But Tiger Lake Road, back toward Lamourie. If you are in that area, you could see some hail, perhaps up to quarters. Briefly, I think it's more going to be peas to like maybe penny-sized hail. Tornado? No, there's not a tornado warning, is there? Don't scare me like that. There's no tornado warning. You have power, Mark? Good. And Mark, I'm still going to get your shirts. Don't worry about it. Got the generator running, baby. All right. Not seeing anything new there. Let me go to the Lake Charles radar. We like to take a look at all this stuff. I would imagine, though, I would hazard a guess that that hail core would fall out pretty quickly. Let's go to this radar. Let's do my favorite thing. Let's cut a slice. And this is to show where that hail is in the storm. And it looks like that might have just updated. Yeah, there's nothing too impressive right there. I mean, probably some hail suspended up in this, but I would think that that's going to be smaller, pea to maybe half-inch, three-quarter-inch size, and that's going to melt some on the way down. So, yeah, that's... We'll keep an eye on that, but I think right now our main threat's going to be damaging wind. I don't foresee this being one that's going to put down damaging hail, but I think a lot of people are going to be losing some trees. A lot of people are definitely losing limbs, and all of us are losing power, it seems like. All right, we're up to 26,810 without power now. So that is up to 1,800 of 11,000 out in Vernon Parish. 10,446 out of 24,700 in Vernon Parish. And here in Rapides, we went from 1,000 to 6,000. So that number is now catching up to reality here. 6,000 without power. More are losing that power right now in the southern and eastern parts of Rapides Parish. And then this is going to shove on to the east. Again, no warning up here for Catahoula on this storm. But given what we know about how these things are very prolific wind producers, it would not be surprising to me if you had some power outages up that way as well. Just checking to see if we have an update out of Essler on any wind gusts. They gusted to 41. So widespread 40 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts along this line. And I think we're going to see more of that as we continue to see a little warming. Out here, remember, it's still heating up a bit, like mid-80s. So plenty of instability here as this line pushes to the east. And what that's going to do is allow for some strong gusty winds to make it to the surface. And we've seen tons of that already. Lost power as soon as it started raining. Yeah, that's kind of how it's going. It seems like it's just happening very quickly. As that outflow hits, rain starts, power goes out, and then it moves on to the east. And the rain, I mean, we had rain here for maybe a half hour. I doubt we even got an inch. Let me see what we had at the airport. My gauge is messed up. I got to get a new one, I know. I'm the weatherman. Okay, Alexandria. Trying to see. Looks like a couple of tenths of an inch of rain. I would think we had more than that. This is why I like to have my own stuff. All right, 0.43 inches of rain. That's including last night. So yeah, 0.23 out of this one, I guess. All right, so it's raining heavily. It's happening quickly, and then the main story here is going to be not flooding this time, although I think as we kind of build this up over the next few days, we're going to see that flooding threat materialize. But this is more going to be just heavy rainfall, lots of lightning, and of course those damaging wind gusts that we are seeing right now. Fortunately, not seeing any sort of rotation with this. Not right now. We had a tornado warning. That's what prompted me to jump on, but I'm glad I was here. I don't go live for every severe thunderstorm warning because, as you know, there are plenty of severe thunderstorm warnings that don't do a ton. And if I'm sitting here beating a dead horse for an hour, that doesn't help anyone. But in this case, we have all these power outages that are happening, so I just want you to be ready. If you're in Marksville, Mansura, if you're in Avoyelles Parish, if you're in Evangeline Parish, if you're anywhere east of, let's draw a line, you're like east of this line right here, you very well might lose power in the next couple of hours. Marksville, Mansura much sooner than, say, Simsport or down toward Melville. But the setup is here for some strong damaging downbursts. And actually, no, we didn't have a weather balloon this morning. I think we're going to get that here a little bit later today. They're doing them at noon now, but taking a look at something just to see if I like to see the profile of the atmosphere as it's kind of set up now. And no, we don't. We had one in Shreveport though, and that one showed that we had a pretty good downburst environment, and we're seeing that now. We're just seeing kind of gusty winds that are right along the leading edge of this thing. That's providing us with our fresh dose of power outages for many, and but not Manny. You guys, I think, are pretty good. Severe thunderstorm warnings do continue for northwestern Avoyelles, northeastern Rapides, down to southwestern Rapides and northern Allen Parish. That little area in Vernon Parish, you're good. The worst is through there. Let's put things in motion, though, over the last hour. Take off the warnings. I mean, that line doesn't look too crazy, but you can see that over the last hour, it really has strengthened right here from Catahoula and LaSalle Parish down through Rapides and into Allen and Evangeline, or Allen and Beauregard, headed toward Evangeline. That's where the strongest part of this line is. And we're going to do this like 4 or 5 more times in the next 5 days, so just get ready for that. On the backside here, some light rain, some gusty winds are showing up, though, as again, if you're just tuning in, it possibly looks like we have a wake low developing, and without describing all of that, that just means there could be some gusty winds on the backside of this. I'm going to check the Tyler observation, see what they have going right now. They did say they had winds, yeah, they're gusting to 37. Yeah, they've shifted to the south, and they're gusting close to 40. So a lot of wind on the leading edge of this and then behind this as well. My goodness. Lights keep flashing. All right. Trees down on Edgewood and Susek. No, I try not to go live until I have to. But when I do, I like to stick around and talk to you. I certainly don't ever want to hype. Everyone knows my disdain for that. All right, there's the lightning, lots of it, especially up here into LaSalle and Catahoula Parish and stretching down across Rapides. Let's go back to no lightning. Put the warnings up. There's the severe thunderstorm warning. All right, let me get the latest on this one. Not surprising at all to see that. That's when we cross into the Jackson office, so there it is. Okay, severe thunderstorm warning at 11:49. This was issued a couple of minutes ago for southwestern Tensas Parish, northwestern Concordia, and all of Catahoula for the most part. Yeah, all of Catahoula, except for extreme northern, but just consider yourself under it. Until 12:30 p.m. At 11:49, severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from near Aimwell to 7 miles west of Larto, moving east at 45. The hazard there is going to be 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail. Jonesville, Harrisonburg, Larto, Wallace Ridge, and Mena around 11:55. Wildsville by noon. Monterey and Frogmore around 12:10. Faraday and Lee Bayou at 12:15. So if you are in those areas, you now have a severe thunderstorm warning, which is not surprising at all. You're going to Mark Williams' house, Brian? Good work. Yes, go there. And I believe they're cooking something for you, too. I mean, they always are. 0.87 in Mallard Cove, on Mallard Cove in Pineville since it started. Yeah, I might have to go driving around after this one. See what we have on these trees. There's a new warning for Avoyelles, so let me go ahead and get you to this one. Let me check the family text group. I think we're getting some updates there. All right, so severe thunderstorm warning. That's my mother-in-law's funny. Okay. I just read that severe thunderstorm warning for Catahoula and Concordia, and now we're going to read the one for the newest one for Rapides, Avoyelles, and Northern Evangeline Parish. Severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Rapides Parish, north central Evangeline Parish, and northwestern Avoyelles. Until 12:45. At 11:51, severe thunderstorm was located over LeCount or near Cheneyville, moving northeast at 30. The hazard there, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and again, penny-sized hail. So it's wind and then hail with this. The hail should be small enough to not cause damage. It says expect damage to roof sidings and trees, but I think that's just kind of like the boilerplate thing they put out there. Locations impacted: Marksville, Bunkie, Moraville, Cheneyville, Turkey Creek, Bordelonville, Effie, Cottonport, Mansura, LeCount, Hesmer, Echo, Bruyette, Lake Ophelia National Wildlife Refuge, Poland, Ruby, and Forest Hill. You are all under this warning here. And again, if you say your phone's at 12% now and you're out around Simsport, go ahead and plug it in, because you're going to probably not be able to charge it because we are losing power all over the place with these storms. Now, those warnings, these newest warnings, are for Catahoula, Concordia, Avoyelles, and southeastern Avoyelles. So if you have not seen these storms yet, we have, as of the latest check, and this was, let me see if I have another update. Yeah, at 11:38, so 16 minutes ago, we had over 6,000 people without, or 6,000 customers. So like my house is one of those. There's 3 of us here. So more than 6,000 people without power for sure. Grant Parish, 1,800 out of 11,000. Vernon, 10,000 out of 24,000 roughly. So they're almost half without power in Vernon Parish. Now, the good news is they can probably get out and start doing the work to replace this and kind of get people restored, but it's going to take a little while when we have stuff that's this widespread. And there's a lot of areas that are going to be without power for a little while from what I'm seeing with this one. And the bad news is, you get it restored. Well, we have another threat for severe storms overnight tonight, and then we're going to have another one Wednesday, and then another one Thursday, and then I think Friday we're looking a little bit better. But here are your current storms, and again, you can see how we have new storms developing as the old ones die out. They're kind of replacing along that outflow boundary. That's these storms are developing, merging in with that old stuff, and that's where we get the worst of this. So yeah, a lot of power outages being reported. I'm just checking here to see if I have damage reports coming in. I'm seeing y'all are awesome with your damage reports. I'm just gonna actually give them a quick one. Okay. All right. So, another question. And sometimes I pause like that just to save a little voice. All right. No update there. Looks pretty tranquil. Everybody's just out and going to lunch now. Looks pretty calm around town. So let's go back to where we're still on reflectivity. There are your latest warnings, though. Catahoula and Concordia Parish into Avoyelles. Southern parts of Rapides still in these severe thunderstorm warnings, as the wind is going to be the main threat as these storms continue on to the east. They kind of weakened. We had severe storms over northeast Texas last night. We had that morning lull, and now they are kind of coming back and providing us with quite the show to usher in the lunch hour here on Memorial Day. When should you head back to Alexandria from Baton Rouge? It's going to be a few hours. I would say, you know, if you can get somewhere and then kind of pause and wait for these storms to clear. I don't think there's going to be a big tornado threat, but there is that straight line wind issue that we're certainly going to see. So you might want to give it a little time. Tree on a house on Anderson and Pineville, okay. Supposed to go to Baton Rouge. Should you reschedule? I mean, you're going to go through this line. Now, once it clears Baton Rouge, you can head that way. Checking to see. Wait a second. Tree on a house in Harmony Hills, but no injuries. Thanks, Brendan. Yeah, I don't know about if that would have been a tornado up in Bentley. Again, these things can spin up very quickly. with the squall line kind of set up. I'd been watching it. You get these little kinks and these little nubs on it, and in between these scans, which between like 2 and 4 minutes, you can see a tornado spin up quickly and go away before we even see it on radar. So it's possible. I'm not going to tell you that it wasn't, but I'm not seeing confirmed tornado reports yet. I am appreciating the heck out of everyone's reports here, though, on these. Gina, camera's looking better? Yes, good. Must be looking better at your house then. All right, checking the power outages. Let's go back to the show and see what we have. Actually, we'll see Gina first. Oh, yeah, that's looking a lot better. Little rain still falling, but looking much nicer up that way. That severe storm has moved on to the east now. So here's your latest report. This was the old one, actually, from 20 minutes ago, but we go by when these things update here. And it does look like we did just get another update. It has not carried over into the system yet. So Vernon Parish, on the positive side, from 10,400 to 9,700 without power. Grant Parish is now over 2,000, and Rapides over 9,000 at 9,025 power outages. Total customers in the area, 29,820. Few of those are up in Caddo Parish as well, but in central Louisiana itself, about 26,000 without power, and that doesn't line up with what you're seeing here, but I'm looking at the updated map, and this should update here in just a few. So that's the main story with this thing. That is going to be strong, straight line winds. Can't rule out a spin-up tornado or some small hail, but the main threat is going to be the wind. They even went with a special weather statement on this as this thing heads toward Lake Charles. It doesn't look nearly as strong down here, but those outflow winds, and you can kind of see that right there, that's the outflow boundary. Now it's racing out further ahead of the storms here, so the wind is arriving probably 15 minutes before the actual storm gets there. Up this way, that's where it's a little more lined up with that front edge of these storms. So we have from Catahoula Parish, from basically Jonesville down into Texaco Town, down around that area. You're in the storms right now. A new one forming right north of Marksville, and that's going to merge in with that line. So maybe around Acme, New Era, that area, we're going to see that storm come together and produce some strong, damaging wind. Right now, almost 30,000 in the state without power, and most of those are right here in central Louisiana. Going back to check the comments, see what we have there, but you get the idea. Thundering, yeah, linemen are going to be busy. Thundering and starting to rain in Cottonport. Got another fun little flash there. Just checking radar here, looking at everything. And yeah, I think what we're seeing here is mainly going to be a straight line wind threat with these. Severe thunderstorm warnings do continue across Avoyelles. Actually, let's look at that little area north of Marksville. That's that storm moving in toward Bruyette. Okay, good. That briefly popped up and went away. Just checking, though. All right. So that, again, that's how quick it's like one scan, we see something. And this is on this cell that's forming out ahead of the main line. So we're getting a more discontinuous line. It's not like we have this straight line of just a continued solid line of water and storms and wind. We're getting these isolated cells that are merging in with that, and that's where I think we could see some of these cells become severe, produce that damaging wind, and possibly even a brief spin-up tornado. Yep, toward Jonesville, they are in the thick of it right now. You're probably losing power right now. Tornado hit in DeVille. My grandson's neighborhood has a lot of damage. I do. I know the pronunciations of like 98%, but I still get tripped up on a couple. But I think, 23 years, I think I've got it all. It's when I get into these little tiny ones that show up on my map here that like I don't even know if they're actual towns that are in existence anymore that I get thrown off. Looks like some hail up there just east of Mangum. Winnsboro, north of that area. That's where we have some strong cells there with wind and possibly some damaging hail, but that's out of our area. Down here, that's where, again, I've done this little exercise before. When you get these little kinks in the line like that, that's the stuff we watch. Now, if we see it like straight like that, that's more just going to be your straight line wind. When we get those kinks like that, those are the little areas where we can see that inflow and the downdraft coming out the backside. And you just get this little quick spin up, And maybe it's weak, but EF1 tornado is a big deal. So hopefully we don't see that. Hopefully we haven't seen that. I see all the damage reports, and I'm not sure exactly what has caused that. I know most of it's going to be straight line wind, but we are watching this all very closely to see what we have going on out there. Down to the south, that's why these storms are weaker. The outflow is charging well ahead of it. Up here, it's right along with that leading edge of the storms, and then it meets up with these new cells. And that's what we have going on. It was bad in Alexandria. 20 plus trees down. House is damaged in Bentley. I got to check with Al. That's what I'm going to do now. Hold on. I'm texting Al Quartermont. He lives in Bentley. Always good to have the ground truth from the folks you know and trust. You need to go to Natchez. When should I leave? Natchez, if you're in Alexandria, I wouldn't leave yet. Maybe give it another half hour, 45 minutes, and then you can just that's probably around when it's going to get to Natchez, and then you can just kind of come in behind it, stay away from it. Tornado came through Colvin. See, I'm going to head out after this here in a little bit. I do have to take a little snooze at some point today, so I'm up for the night. But I'm going to run out after lunch here and take a look at some of these damage spots. So if you specifically have like significant damage, I don't want to go chasing like a tent that blew away or something. But if you want to send me a message or put it up here, I see Bentley showing up. I see DeVille showing up. Everything good in Gina. That's awesome. 2 trees uprooted at Philadelphia, close to 28. Okay. Yeah, it looks like Bentley. Looks like that area might be the one to go check out. But I'm going to see what my buddy up there says. And yeah, for now we have severe thunderstorm warnings continuing from Winnsboro down through Jonesville, through Marksville, and into southern Rapides Parish. These storms out ahead are going to merge with that, and then we're going to see a lot more wind gusting up with those. Let's go back to the power outage map, hoping that has updated now, and it has. 9,000 power outages reported. These are customers in Rapides Parish, not just individuals. So 9,000 customers, 9,000 homes and businesses without power, 9,500 in Vernon, which is a higher percentage of the parish, and we're going to see Avoyles and Evangeline filling in here shortly, LaSalle and Catahoula as well. 2,000 in Grant Parish, which again, they have like 11,000 that 11,000 customers. So behind this line, we don't have much coming here. Tonight we will. Tonight we're going to get another round. Let me just show you the latest HRRR, and it might have changed a little bit. I haven't seen this run just yet. But there go our storms today. That kind of clears out. We could see it trailing back into those southern areas toward Beauregard Parish and down to Lake Charles. But other than that, it's pretty calm. And then overnight tonight, we get another round. This is 4 a.m. This is a little bit slower than it was earlier. We're going to be watching for this one. And again, this is why I'm going to be up tonight with these, and then we're going to do it again Wednesday afternoon, but I'm going to be at the lake by then, and Tommy K is going to be taking over, so we're going to split the shift on this one. Let's see, no reports from Al, or nothing from Al, so hopefully he's good. Trees across 112 near Wagabag and Sam Stokes Nursery on 112. There is more, but it's going to be most likely tonight, and then we're going to see more coming through on Wednesday as well. I think tomorrow we get that line in the morning, or in the early morning, and then after that I think things are going to calm down a little bit, and we're going to see improving conditions, and then we get another round by Wednesday. So we have high rain chances in the forecast for the next 4 days, but it's not like a continuous rain. It's going to be stuff like this that blows through, and then you just kind of wait on the next round. So I think the way it goes now, we have this one, we have another one early tomorrow morning, probably one Wednesday late morning to the afternoon, and then another Thursday afternoon. That's kind of the timing I'm seeing right now. I was going to do a full post on it later, and I still will, but this is kind of cramping my style with all these warnings. I didn't think it was going to be quite this bad today, or I was hopeful it wouldn't be. Straight line winds along the leading edge of this here as it moves into Concordia Parish, and from all the reports I'm seeing, it's like power goes out as rain is starting to fall. So right on that leading edge is where the worst of this is going to be. So if you're in these severe thunderstorm warnings, you're going to want to go ahead and you're going to want to go ahead and get anything inside that might blow away. If you need to charge the phone, you're probably out of time. If you need to charge anything and you're in Simmsport, you got maybe 20, 30 minutes before the big wind hits. And down toward Ville Platte, Washington, and Opelousas, you have more time as well. But you can see where this outflow, and this is what, so that's the outflow, that little green thing right there. And when it gets several miles out ahead of this, you can see how that weakens the storms because that effectively cuts off the instability out there. What the outflow also does is it lifts the atmosphere, it lifts that, it gives you a little surface convergence. So you're going to see new storms typically pop along and just behind that outflow boundary. When we get them out ahead of it and they merge in with this, that's where we get the worst of things. But I do think we'll get some new storms to fire up here across Evangeline Parish in the next little while. Family lives on Rock Hill by 167, said it hit by Samaritan House, and the church at Samaritan House had damage in trees across 167. Okay, so it's looking like the damage is pretty rough up around Bentley. Seen some reports out there toward DeVille as well. And here in Alexandria, I know a lot of us are without power. So let's see. All right, let me look at the chat here. National Weather Service chat, always a valuable resource. One of my favorite things is just to see what they're talking about. And this is something that's only like meteorologists, media, emergency managers are in. So it's not something publicly accessible. But hey, my buddy just texted Al. I will I'm about to leave the house. We'll let you know. Okay. He is up in Bentley, and he's going to let me know what he sees. This severe thunderstorm warning across northeastern Rapides Parish, I'd say you're pretty much in the clear. So out toward DeVille, things are calming down. Cheneyville, Marksville, Mansura, you're in it right now. And then, of course, Jonesville, you know the score. It's storming like crazy. Faraday, Frogmore, that area, that's where we also have some pretty stout cells that are going to merge in with that line, produce some small hail in the beginning, maybe up to like maybe nickel-sized, and then you turn into that damaging wind threat. So lots of wind going on here. It looks like that's going to be our main threat is those straight line winds. We've seen 29-ish thousand power outages reported across the state as of now. Some of those are already being restored, so some great news there. Let's see. Fire department reported trees down on a residential home. That's 3 south of Pineville. Let's see if that one's popped in yet. Nope. It's too fast for us. That storm report just came out. Just some flooding reports up around Shreveport, but we're going to be filling that line in later on with the reports that we have out of this. So as of 12:10, we have, I'm going to say 2 severe thunderstorms, well, 3 in our area. I'm not counting this one because it's the only part of the warning that's still active is covered by this one in Avoyelles. So the southern Rapides, northern Evangeline, western, northwestern Avoyelles Parish warning still in effect. And then from Catahoula into Concordia, that's where I think the worst of these storms are right now. And then out of our area up here into Franklin Parish, that's where we have another warning up there. So any travel plans, actually, if you're heading west, you're looking pretty good. You may run into some gusty winds out of this. And yeah, Shane, I saw your text. That's why I giggled. And then the thunderstorms out here to the east are going to shove across the river. And behind that, I think we'll see them kind of trailing down here along I-10. So if you are headed to Lake Charles or Lafayette later today, you may still run into some storms. But this part of the line up here is cooking onto the east pretty quickly. And you can see that thing accelerating out toward the Mississippi River right now. And soon enough, these warnings will be out of the area. So I am probably going to take a little bit of a break right now. I'm going to chill out here until this thing clears out for the most part across the river and all that, and then I'm going to head up to Bentley and take a look at things. Let's see. Southeast Texas, you have those weak storms down there right now. I don't think you have a big threat to worry about out of this. How long will it take to move through in the AM traveling west tomorrow? It is going to take, it's going to be kind of similar to this. The thing is, when does it come through? Because I was thinking, 3 or 4, now it might be a little delayed. Maybe it's 5 or 6. So I think it's going to look a little bit like this. We'll have a rain shield behind this big line of storms that's moving quickly toward the east and possibly producing some severe reports. But it's tough to say exactly how long you'll see that rain, because you can even see how the rain's starting to fill back in a little bit behind this in Rapides Parish. But you'll be driving through some rain if you are headed west tomorrow morning. Looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning. I believe this is a new one. This is at 12:12. This is a new warning for Avoyelles Parish, for northeastern Avoyelles Parish, and that's going to be this one that pops in right there. Until 12:45 p.m. At 12:11, a severe thunderstorm was located over Lake Ophelia National Wildlife Refuge, or 9 miles north of Bordelonville, moving northeast at 30. The hazard there is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. This is going to be primarily over rural areas of northeastern Avoyelles Parish. And that threat is for 60-mile-per-hour wind and possibly hail up to 1 inch in diameter. And it's going to be out of our area, but you can see here over southern Concordia Parish, new cells developing. That'll merge with this. So south of Natchez, maybe over toward Brookhaven, Bude, those areas, that's where we're going to see these storms really kind of charging up once again. Still have warnings in effect for southeastern Rapides, but this is exiting our area right now. And without the tornado warnings going right now, I'm going to kind of collect myself, get some more information here. And if I need to go live, I will. If not, you'll probably see me live next, showing you some damage up in Grant Parish or wherever I may end up. So I'm going to get out of here for now. If you have any specific questions or anything, feel free to throw them into the comments or whatever. I will try my best to keep up with everything. But for now, I'm going to get out of here, and I will see you back here later.
No matter the weather, Alexandria Emergency Hospital is always here for you. Rain or shine, our doors are open 24/7 to provide the care you and your loved ones need fast. Every second counts, and Alexandria Emergency Hospital is here to help you through any storm.